Hey everybody, this is Aqua Yard. Just going to give another update on my tanks, show you guys how things are going, what's new, what isn't new, what's changed, and where I'd like to see things go from here. I started this tank just as a collection of trapdoor snails. I had some extra trapdoor snails, as I mentioned in an earlier video, and I planned on breeding them. And for the most part, it's gone really well. Up until recently, I've had some casualties in the juveniles, and I haven't been able to really figure it out. I think I'm on the right track now. Really, all I did was increase my temperature just a little bit and also started adding more food. I think I was probably a little stingy on the feeding side. I always fed them regularly, but it's possible they were getting outcompeted by the shrimp, the plecos, even the fish pick at a lot of the snail food. So I have a lot more activity from the juveniles now, and I'm actually starting to see some new snails that are smaller in size than the rest of them. And I apologize, it might be a little hard to see, but right in the center of the screen here, there's some really small ones that are a lot smaller than the ones that have been growing out. So I'm not certain, but I think I'm on the right track with with keeping these snails up. And I got one trying to turn over here, and then there's some buried just taking a break. So we'll see where that goes. I'm still hopeful that we're on the right track. So hopefully we'll have a lot more in the near future that are growing out. I know these are this particular breed, they don't produce quite as fast as maybe your mystery snails or your ram's horn snails. And they take a little bit longer to develop too, but I'm willing to be patient and we'll see how it goes. After that came the guppies and the shrimp. I've had a terrible stint of luck with my red dragon half moon guppies. I'm down to one. I think I was a little hasty in ordering them during the winter time. Even the ones that came alive ended up dying a couple days later. Most of them not showing much will to eat and just not really thriving. This is the only one that's really has taken on. I don't think it's my water parameters. My water parameters have, from what I can tell, have been quite healthy. So I'm going to take a break on guppies till the warmer weather arrives. This one's missing a bit from its back fin. The honey grammies, which I'll move on to next, even though I'm skipping the shrimp. This male right here has been in breeding dress for quite a while. I put in one of those, it's like a cut up yogurt container. I cut it in half and he's been building a bubble nest under there. Kind of hard to see. There's a huge air pocket and then there's a bunch of little ones. So I haven't seen him grab any eggs, but I know he's been trying his darndest. If I had to guess, this plump female on the left here is probably the more likely bet to drop some eggs than this female here. And I believe these are two different breeds of female. That one I think might be a sunset gourami, while that one's more of a true honey gourami. If anyone in the comments knows, please let me know, because every time you Google this stuff, you get a million different pictures and everybody has an opinion on it. So I think this is a sunset gourami. A little hard to focus. And then I think that's a honey gourami right there. So we'll see. And then there's another male he also gets in breeding dress too, but has made, from what I can tell, no attempt to make a nest. This male has really been expressing the behaviors and chasing off anyone. I'm pretty sure this male is the one that took a nip out of my red dragon half moon. Sorry for the focus issues. I'm new to this, so bear with me. Going on, that's it for honey gouramis and guppies. I'm just holding off on any other fish for now. You can see this guy will chase off pretty much anyone that gets in the vicinity of the nest, but it's a 55 gallon that's mostly empty, so I'm not too worried about the behavior. And then the fire red shrimp. Sorry, I'm trying to get you a focus. This one's saddle's showing pretty good. There you go. I added this rock in here and just split a bunch of my Java moss and glued it on to just kind of get a Java moss rock, I guess you could say. And the shrimp really seem to like it, so I've been slowly propagating the Java moss, just trying to get some more. All these rocks are new. These were taken from my creek, and I boiled them for a short time and then threw them in here. I just wanted more surface area covered. I wanted more biofilm. I just wanted more bacteria, more stuff. And so far it's been working really well. The shrimp have been all over it. The snails have been all over it. It's looking pretty good. But most of the fire reds hang out on this driftwood here, where I've got some Java fern, some Java moss, and the snails and the shrimp both hang out here quite a bit, but also my bristlenose, pleco, bushy nose, whatever you want to call it, hangs out in here quite a bit. And the cholla wood, however you want to say it, bunch of shrimp and juvenile snails hang out in there. You might have to just take my word for it, but if you look really close to the far left, you can see a snail in the hole of that wood, and there's actually one in the middle too. You can see the point of the shell if you look real close. So that's shared by baby snails and fire red shrimp. And there's some hanging under the filter too. And there's at least 2 buried females in here, both of which look pretty blown up. So I'm thinking within a week or so, we'll have a bunch of juveniles out and about. Some shrimp and snails hang out in here, but not a whole lot. It's not the most happening place. In the last video, I'm gonna switch over to plants now, by the way. Oh, before I forget, there's the bushy nose or bristle nose if you wanted to see him. I'll give you a better shot. Just hanging out. Anyway, moving on to plants. This is my Anubias non-petite plant. I just recently propagated that too. I split it up into 4 or 5 different sections. So I'm just kind of doing some experiments. I'm floating a couple. There's one piece there. There's another piece hanging over by the gourami nest. And I'll show you where I put the other 2 in just a moment. The guppy grass is growing, but it's growing pretty slowly. I received this guppy grass from a shrimp order, and I thought I would just keep it and grow it out. And it might be hard to tell from the video, but that's growing pretty well too. Just kind of slow, which is ironic because everywhere I read it grows really quickly. I don't know, maybe it's just competing with the other plants for absorbing nutrients. Maybe it's not getting enough light, who knows. And then I've been growing a pothos plant. In the last video, the roots were much bigger. This is a totally different plant. This is a golden pothos. I'll show you my original pothos in a minute. I just wanted to put a new one in here. So the roots are starting to poke out on it. If it will focus, that would be awesome. Might be as good as it's gonna get. But that seems to be doing fine. That's a golden pothos plant. And then the Java fern's doing fine. I also propagated that. I took a bunch of plantlets off, put it in another tank, which I'll show you in a moment. And then I have another Java fern back here with some plantlets on it. There he is, checking on the nest. Making sure everything's in order. Okay, so that's the update on the 55. Shrimp, snails, gouramis, single guppy, trying to grow out plants and just further establish this tank. I set up a new 10-gallon tank just recently, and this are my new, I'm feeling in my pocket for a flashlight here. These are my new Blue Dream shrimp. The cholla wood is new. The driftwood I grabbed from my creek and boiled that, And if the water looks a little dark, it's because it's releasing tannins, and I boiled the heck out of it, but it's still dropping some. It is what it is. And the rocks are from a local creek. And I did make the mistake of putting Blue Dreams with black substrate, so they'll be a little trickier to see, but that's why I was looking for the flashlight. Before I show you the shrimp, this is the pothos from my original video. Here's the roots. The reason I moved it over here is because I was getting some nitrate spikes, and I just wanted to balance it a little better because it's 10 gallon. I know it's a little trickier to keep stable, especially because it's a newly established tank. So I want to throw a ton of plants in there, get some driftwood in there, and start growing that biofilm as soon as possible, which it is taking off. I'll try and show you that. But so I have a Marble Queen pothos. That's my original one. You can see a shrimp's hanging out in there, eating on the biofilm. And then I have a neon pothos that I'm trying to propagate as well. That was given to me from a friend who owns a plant business. So yeah, here's one of the Blue Dreams right here. There's another one right next to it. Just chomping on the biofilm from the driftwood, so that's all cool. See if I don't know if I can get you a closer shot or not. They are tricky to see. There's one right here under this, under that rock. And there's all the plantlets from the Java fern I've been pulling off. They're all doing really well. I think I pulled off 6 or 7 plantlets. They just kind of tangled up. I didn't plant them or anything. I just threw them in. And their Anubias non-petite is behind the root system there. There it is, just hanging out. So my sponge filter's a little on the smaller side. I think I should have got a bigger one, but it already had established bacteria on it, so I just kind of went with it. But that's all it is. It's a 10-gallon tank. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to move these to a 20, which I think I probably should, because I'm still doing regular water changes. In fact, I've had to do more frequent ones on here because I'm getting those nitrate spikes, which again, I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary for a newer tank, but I did do cycled water, cycled filter, cycled plants, and I'm still getting some spikes that are a little on the stressful side for the shrimp. So I know they're hardy, they'll be fine. I'm just trying to be as smart about it as possible. So we'll see how that goes. I did throw some juvenile snails in here as well. Oh, there's one right there actually. I turned off the video by mistake when I was trying to show you the snail. So yeah, there's a juvenile snail right there on the light with some shrimp next to it hanging out on the driftwood. So that's all. Just wanted to give you an update on the 55 and my new 10-gallon Blue Dream tank. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. This was AquaYard signing off. Thank you.